So the narrative was just so perfect, wasn't it? Keith Urban, the incredibly talented but, well, troubled musician.
Right. And then he meets Nicole Kidman, Hollywood royalty, basically. Ethereal, as you said.
And she saves him from the edge of addiction. He even called her love in action. Said his life began with her.
Yeah, and for almost 20 years, that was the story. That was their brand, this whole fairy tale built on gratitude, on redemption.
Then the divorce news hits, and suddenly the sources we're seeing paint a totally different picture.
Oh, completely. We're looking at sources now that detail this really withering verdict from Nicole Kidman's inner circle. They're talking about a total 180, a profound betrayal.
A personality shift that they say just blindsided her.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Starscope Report with Jordy and Jamie.
And we dive deep into Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and the stories behind the fame.
Today, we're moving past those glossy headlines. We're diving into the sources detailing the final, really painful chapter of the Kidman-Urban marriage.
We're going to uncover the legal strategy, this reported shift in career support.
And that one concert moment.
Yeah.
The one that seemed to prove everything and just set the internet on fire.
Our mission today is really to understand how a marriage built on such a powerful public commitment could just collapse so strategically.
And why the man who built his whole identity on gratitude is now facing, well, a pretty devastating reputational crisis. Let's get into it.
Okay.
So here's where it gets really interesting, I think. To grasp how deep this fallout goes, you have to see it wasn't just a marriage. It was like a mythology they built.
Right. It started back at that G-Day USA gala, January 2005. He apparently called meeting her like encountering a real-life princess.
Classic line.
Yeah.
And she wasn't instantly sold, right?
Yeah.
But she talked about that moment, her 38th birthday, June 2005.
Yeah, that's the one. He shows up on her New York stoop, 5 a.m., unannounced.
With gardenias.
With gardenias. And she said that gesture, that was a moment she really felt seen by him.
It sounds like pure Hollywood magic, But the real foundation, the thing that really defined their bond, was that intervention.
Only 4 months after their wedding in 2006, his addiction issues resurfaced.
And Kidman staged the intervention, sent him to Betty Ford for, 3 months?
3 months. And what's really crucial here, host speaker, is that Urban didn't try to hide this. Not at all.
No, he almost weaponized it for his narrative, didn't he?
In a way, yeah. He became the primary narrator of his own salvation story. Publicly, constantly, crediting Kidman, saying she saved his life, saved his sobriety.
Created this incredibly public dynamic of, profound ongoing debt. He owed her everything.
Exactly. And that's the core of why this reported betrayal feels so deep, isn't it? His public identity was the eternally indebted husband. Grateful, therefore devoted.
So when sources allege this recent behavior, this coldness, it feels like a fundamental character violation. It shatters the whole pact.
Mm-hmm. And it's maybe the unsustainability of that debt dynamic that insiders claim caused the first real cracks to appear. Well, Kidman, after stepping back a bit for years, she had this huge career renaissance, right? Inspired by her late mother's advice, apparently.
Yeah, she started taking on massive projects again. Practical Magic 2, Big Little Lies Season 3. Good for her.
Absolutely. But sources suggest this kind of threw off the established power balance in the marriage.
He wasn't the main focus anymore.
That's what insiders claimed, that Urban was used to her being supportive of his career. And when her workload ramped up, his support just failed.
A lack of reciprocity, basically, when the spotlight shifted.
Precisely. And this discomfort apparently really came to a head with her 2024 film, Baby Girl.
Right, the erotic thriller. She plays a powerful CEO having an affair with her much younger intern.
And sources close to them allege Urban did not like the film at all, reportedly felt embarrassed.
Granted, that's why.
Worried people would laugh at him because the central theme, older woman, younger man, mirrored their own age gap.
Wow, okay. That's awkward. The man who publicly calls his wife his savior is worried her acting role makes him look foolish.
Well, his actions seem to back that up. He was noticeably absent from the Baby Girl premieres. Venice, Toronto, big festivals.
Yeah, remember that. That got noticed.
Big time. Sources framed it not just as a scheduling thing, but as him being unable to handle a power dynamic shifting. His public silence during her big moment spoke volumes.
It suggested the marriage's foundation was maybe conditional on him being the priority.
That's the implication.
That tension must have been just awful behind the scenes, and it clearly only escalated, moving from emotional distance to, legal action.
Exactly.
Okay, hang on, because we're going to reveal the timeline, how meticulous and secretly planned this divorce actually was.
Yeah.
And that one shocking concert moment, the one that became the smoking gun. Stick with us.
So what hit the public on September 29th, 2025, it wasn't some sudden, messy split. It was actually the endpoint of a very deliberate, very strategic legal process.
One that had been going on since the summer, right? This was managed. Careful.
Totally managed. Sources confirm they were living apart since the beginning of summer 2025.
And the way the separation allegedly happened is pretty telling, too. The story is Urban quietly set up his own place in Nashville.
In July, specifically while Kidman was away, on a trip with her sister and their daughters.
That just screams stealth, planning, not sudden heartbreak.
And the legal documents back this up completely. Urban signed the detailed permanent parenting plan on August 29th.
A whole month before the news even broke.
Exactly. Kidman signed it September 6th. This wasn't emotional, this was orchestrated, a strategic exit.
Then the narrative got locked in fast. Kidman was the one blinded, the one fighting to save the marriage.
But the part that really blew up Urban's image was the infidelity allegation, persistent rumors.
Sources claiming all the signs point to the fact Keith is with another woman. And apparently, Kidman doesn't dispute that.
Which pivots the story, doesn't it? From an awkward career clash to potential public scandal.
And the speculation quickly focused on one
The
person.
25-year-old touring guitarist Maggie Bow.
Right. And the quote-unquote evidence that emerged was just,
Right.
wow, so public, so specific.
This is where it gets almost undeniable, according to reports. Weeks before the divorce filing, Urban's performing.
He's singing The Fighter, right? His 2016 hit, famously inspired by Nicole, written for Nicole,
Yeah.
about fighting for her.
Exactly. But during this particular concert, he changes the lyrics live, on stage.
What did he sing?
Instead of the original line, he sang, "When they're trying to get to you, Maggie, I'll be your guitar player."
Wait. He put Maggie's name, the guitarist he's rumored to be involved with, into the song. The song about his wife.
That is exactly what happened. And it gets better or worse, depending on how you look at it.
Oh.
Bow herself posted the video clip with the caption, "Did he just say that?"
Oh my God.
Her dad apparently tried to do some damage control later, but it was too late. The public reaction was instant, visceral.
That specific public lyric change. It was seen universally as this profound, deliberate betrayal against the woman he spent years calling his savior.
Absolutely brutal optics.
Okay, if you are finding this breakdown of a celebrity narrative just completely captivating, you really should hit that subscribe button right now. We dig into the sources shaping these stories, and trust me, you won't want to miss the financial twist that's coming up next.
Because this whole sequence, it really makes you wonder, was this a total 180 personality flip? Or was it just revealing something that was maybe always there?
That's a good question. And you have to remember those sources mentioning the chilling warning back in 2006 from Urban's ex-fiancée, Laura Sigler.
Right. She predicted the marriage wouldn't last, talked about his dark side, his addictive personality, who always wants more.
That context is pretty critical now, isn't it? It lines up almost perfectly with these recent colder sources.
The ones describing his recent mindset as pragmatic, detached.
Yeah, alleging his interest just waned. The marriage lost its spark, its passion, and he just clinically decided, time to move on.
That kind of detached abandonment just shreds 2 decades of public gratitude narrative.
Completely. So, beyond the emotional fallout and the reputation damage, the final legal docs are fascinating. A masterclass in strategic self-protection, especially for Kidman with custody.
Oh, absolutely. The parenting plan isn't just shared, it's decisive. Kidman named primary residential parent.
The sources say the girls live with her 306 days a year. That leaves Urban with just 59 days.
And she got final decision-making authority on everything. Health, education, welfare, everything concerning the children.
That seems extreme. Why so lopsided?
You have to view it through the lens of her history. Legal analysts see this as a direct, calculated response to her first divorce from Tom Cruise.
Ah, where she essentially lost custody of her 2 older children because they stayed with Cruise in Scientology.
Exactly. So this time, it's interpreted as her ensuring, legally, that she would never, ever lose her children again, no matter what happened with the marriage.
It's the ultimate preemptive strike, securing total control.
Wow. She basically locked down her maternal role, legally dominant, to prevent any repeat of that past trauma. Very strategic.
Okay, now for the financial twist. This is just incredible. The irony here revolves around that prenup clause, the sobriety clause.
Informally known as the cocaine clause, right? It was basically an incentive structure for Urban's health.
It entitled him to $600,000 for every single year he stayed sober during the marriage.
Think about the original intent of that. It was literally written to save his life, and by extension, save their marriage. It was supposed to be the golden handcuffs of health and fidelity.
But after 19 years of marriage, that clause now means a massive payout for him, over $11 million.
And that's the ultimate existential betrayal, according to Kidman's camp. Sources report she feels deeply betrayed, filled with incandescent rage.
Because he's now benefiting financially from the clause, right as the marriage he allegedly walked away from dissolves.
Exactly. She sees it as him profiting from the failure of the very thing the clause was meant to protect. Rubbing salt in the wound, as they say.
It turns a positive reinforcement tool into essentially a huge severance package for alleged abandonment. The irony is just staggering.
It really is. And the whole divorce rollout was like a PR masterclass. It positioned Kidman as the resilient, sympathetic figure.
It cleverly used Urban's own history, his redemption story, against him.
Totally inverted it. The narrative he used to build his brand, gratitude, salvation, was flipped to paint him as detached, maybe even duplicitous. He faces a huge reputational challenge now.
So, the story of the Savior and the Saved. It's officially over. We've seen how a powerful narrative can just crumble under the weight of specific public actions.
And it really raises a powerful question, I think, for any celebrity who builds their persona on these deeply personal stories.
Like what?
Well, when your entire public identity is built on eternal gratitude, on redemption tied to one specific relationship, what happens when that relationship ends? Especially if you're seen as the one ending it badly.
The brand doesn't just take a hit.
It faces potentially complete moral bankruptcy. The foundation is gone.
A fascinating point to consider. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.